Hey everyone. Chapter 6 focuses on language and culture, and in addition to all the language rules and everything like that, I identified two main points kind of outside of teaching all of that stuff. The first one is just the overall, um, there's a direct and important correlation between language and culture, which I think is really the main overall idea of this chapter. And so on page 114, there's a quote. Language culture emphasizes the necessary independent tie between language and culture. The rule patterns of a particular language, from syntactic rules to semantic rules, reflect the speaker's worldviews, values, and premises. And so, this really is just basically a description of what the entire chapter is and why the language is such an important part of culture. Um, and it helps to understand all these rules and everything like that help us to understand not only someone else's culture but our own, and what similarities there are between them, and also how cultural values play into language as well. And so my second quote um, is on page 107, and it basically it's the point is that language is a rallying point for giving people group sentiment and shared identity. And so the quote on page 107 um, is language represents a rallying point for evoking group sentiment and shared identity. Language serves the larger cultural ethnic identity function because it's an emblem of group solidarity. In speaking a common tongue, members signal in group ties and out group separation. And so, actually, what the author means is that, like, anywhere you go in the world, I guess in my case it would be English, anywhere I go in the world, if I was uncomfortable or uncertain or overwhelmed in another country, if I found other people who spoke English, it would immediately make me feel a part of that in group and give me not only a sense of home, but a sense that, like, oh, there's people like me here. And actually, when I was thinking about this, I thought of the movie Outsourced that we watched for our assignment, and I thought of when Todd goes to the McDonald's, and he meets the older man that had been in India for longer than him that also speaks English, and what a relief it was for him. But as once he heard that man tell him about his experiences in India, that's when he really started to take that advice, even though he had already received the advice. So it was interesting how, like, it was like, oh, this guy's an American. He's in the on the same wavelength as me, and so that's all I've got.